Imagine a time where the world is at war, and a secret project holds the key to victory. This was the world's reality, a reality steeped in conflict and uncertainty, as the 1940s unfolded. World War II was at its zenith, the scales of power teetering precariously. Amid this global turmoil, a secret project was brewing, one that would irrevocably alter the course of human history. This was the dawn of the atomic age. In the heart of the United States, hidden from prying eyes, the Manhattan Project was born. A project shrouded in secrecy, its objective was as clear as it was formidable: to create the world's first atomic bomb. Some of the brightest minds of the time, including Robert Oppenheimer and Enrico Fermi, were enlisted to bring this daunting vision to fruition. Their task was not just scientific but also a race against time and against an enemy that was also rumored to be developing a weapon of mass destruction. As the project progressed, the world outside continued to be enmeshed in war. The Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, were causing havoc across Europe and the Pacific. The United States, having initially chosen a stance of neutrality, was drawn into the conflict following the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. This event, coupled with the growing threat of Axis powers, fueled the urgency of the Manhattan Project. The atomic bomb represented not just a new weapon, but a potential shift in the balance of power. The United States hoped that this weapon of unprecedented destructive power could end the war swiftly and decisively. Yet, the implications of such a weapon were far-reaching and its potential for destruction unimaginable. As the world held its breath, a new age dawned, the atomic age. This was an era that began under the shadow of a mushroom cloud, an era where mankind possessed the power to destroy itself. The world would never be the same. The dawn of the atomic age brought with it not just a new weapon, but also a new reality, one that humanity continues to grapple with to this day. As victory seemed within reach, a grave decision was made. Thus began an intense deliberation in the Oval Office, led by President Harry S. Truman. The president and his advisors found themselves at the crossroads of history, wrestling with the weight of a decision that would not only shape the end of the Second World War, but also set the stage for the world's nuclear future. President Truman was a man of the people, a leader who valued human life. He was haunted by the knowledge that prolonging the war would result in the loss of countless more lives. His advisors, men of science and strategy, presented him with a series of alternatives. They pondered an invasion of Japan, a move that would likely lead to a high number of casualties on both sides. They considered demonstrating the weapon's power on an uninhabited island, a spectacle meant to coerce Japan into surrendering. They even toyed with the idea of waiting for the Soviet Union to declare war on Japan, a move that could force a surrender without American intervention. Yet with each alternative came significant risks. An invasion could lead to a drawn-out conflict with devastating loss of life. A demonstration might fail to convince, or worse, provoke the Japanese government into more desperate resistance. Waiting for the Soviets? That could hand over significant influence to a potential rival in the post-war world. In the end, they decided on the unimaginable: the use of the atomic bomb. It was a decision born out of a desire to limit further casualties and bring a swift end to the conflict. They believed that the sheer destructive power of the bomb would force Japan into surrender, saving countless lives that would have been lost in a prolonged war. This decision was not taken lightly. It was the product of countless sleepless nights, intense deliberation, and the weight of the world on their shoulders. They knew the decision to use the atomic bomb would forever alter the course of human history. And so, a decision was made, one that would change the course of history forever. On August 6 and 9, 1945, the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki experienced a horror unimaginable. The dawn was just breaking over Hiroshima when the first atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, seared through the sky. In the blink of an eye, the city was enveloped in an intense light, followed by a thunderous blast. The shockwave and heat rays leveled buildings, incinerated trees, and claimed the lives of tens of thousands of people instantly. 3 days later, the second bomb, known as Fat Man, mirrored this devastation in Nagasaki. The city's hilly geography curbed the bomb's destructive radius, but the damage was still staggering. The bustling Urakami district, the heart of Nagasaki, was wiped off the map. The death toll was immense, with those surviving the initial blast succumbing to injuries or radiation sickness in the days and weeks that followed. The bombings marked a departure from conventional warfare, introducing a weapon of mass destruction that could obliterate entire cities in seconds. The physical devastation was immediate and profound. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were transformed into landscapes of charred rubble and ash. The once thriving cities were now ghost towns, punctuated by the eerie silhouettes of vaporized individuals etched into stone and concrete. The human cost was equally catastrophic. The bombs claimed the lives of an estimated 135,000 people in Hiroshima and 70,000 in Nagasaki, though the exact numbers remain disputed. The majority were civilians, including many children. Those who survived, known as hibakusha, were left with severe burns, injuries, and the long-term effects of radiation exposure. The bombings brought a swift end to World War II, but at a staggering cost. They ushered in the atomic age, a period marked by the fear of nuclear annihilation and a global arms race. The bombings served as a grim reminder of the destructive potential of human ingenuity when employed in the service of war. In an instant, 2 cities were reduced to rubble, and the world would never be the same. In the wake of devastation, a new world emerged. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki left a profound and lasting mark on our world, a stark reminder of the tremendous power and devastating consequences of atomic weapons. In the immediate aftermath, Japan, wearied by war, bowed to the inevitable and surrendered unconditionally, bringing an end to the brutalities of World War II. Yet the price of peace was high. The 2 cities were reduced to rubble, and countless lives were lost. The survivors, known as hibakusha, bore the invisible scars of radiation sickness, a grim testament to the unforgiving power of the atom. Yet, even amidst the rubble, the human spirit proved indomitable. Hiroshima and Nagasaki began the arduous journey of rebuilding brick by brick, hope by hope. Today they stand not as symbols of destruction but of resilience, of the invincible power of human spirit to rise from the ashes. But the legacy of the bombings extends far beyond the city's borders. The world had witnessed the horrifying potential of atomic weapons, and the global political landscape shifted seismically. The bombings sparked an arms race, with nations scrambling to harness the power of the atom, a power that could, if unchecked, lead to our self-destruction. Yet they also birthed a new global consciousness, an awareness of our shared humanity, and of the urgent need for peace. The bombings became a rallying cry for disarmament, for treaties and international laws designed to prevent such horrors from ever happening again. They ushered in a new era of diplomacy, of negotiation over aggression, of peace over war. In the shadow of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we find our darkest fears and our greatest hopes. The bombings stand as a stark reminder of the destructive power we wield and the responsibility that comes with it. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki marked not only the end of a war but also the beginning of a new era in human history.